So with our handsome Mr. T, I wanted to show the example with the cup, like I had mentioned earlier with Mr. Z. Zeus didn't really catch on, and that's okay. He was actually doing really well with just going and targeting the scratch board itself. So with Mr. T, what I was working on was first just getting him comfortable going and targeting the flat board on the ground, and then feeding for when all his two toesies, or his two front feet are on the board, and then make that into part of the beneficial aspect of this game. So now again, I'm going to toss a little something away, get them up and wiggling. What I like to do with a bowl or a cup, I sometimes do a little bit of a clear one. Some of them do notice the treat visually. Of course, most of them notice it smell-wise. So I'm going to go ahead and show him a snack. I'm going to plop it under the bowl. And what I'm hoping for him to do is to paw, yes, the bowl, and then feed him for that response. So the benefit, and Ebba's just hanging out with us. So Ebba's watching, seeing how we're doing, right? We're doing a good job. So I'm going to show Mr. T his snack, put it in the bowl, yes, and then feed him for that. So as Mr. T is targeting this green bowl with his front foot, either the left or the right, I really don't care. The main goal is that he's finding it appealing to try and target the bowl, yes, and then I feed for that. So the moment I'm marking is when Mr. T does the scratching with his front feet. And again, in the beginning, show them the item, plop it in the little container, and then see, yes, if you can get them to target that thing. So you can see he's also very comfortable. There are some funny noises at times in the building, very, very normal for this, I guess, big warehouse-like facility. So for our handsome guy, putting his little toes onto the board is also non-threatening or spooky. So now we're going to do, again, a little find it, get him up and wiggling. I'm going to go ahead and raise up the scratch board. What I'm going to try and do now this time is what I tried doing a little bit with Mr. Z, but he did just fine without the cup, so don't worry. So what I'm going to try is show Mr. T the snack he has to, well, hold on, Hippo, we're not going to start singing because then it might be a little distracting. She was starting to sing like a pupperoo. So I like to put the item in the bowl or the cup and then plop it onto the scratch board, and I'm going to see if, again, with the snack inside the bowl, if I can get him to target the bowl again like we did earlier, right there, yes. And I open and the snacks come down. Technically, I'd want to do one at a time, by accident I tossed in two. So again, I'm going to show him the snack, put it in my cup, close it up. Right here, I'm waiting for him to do the little scratch again, right there, yes. And then again, show him that the food falls out from the cup. This is how I taught one of my boys to do it. So that way, again, it made more sense for him to target something visually versus having it, oh my goodness, chewing's optional, versus using my hand, because in the beginning he would then paw my hand, and of course it wasn't quite as comfortable. So I'm going to show him the snack again, plop it into the cup, close it up, and then see again, yes. And you don't have to drop all of it, but of course I'm also very coordinated. So ready, Teddy? He didn't quite see his snack fall, so I'll just feed him there. So again, as he's doing quite well targeting the bowl, now I could take a moment. I'm going to take a break from the bowl for a second, plop it behind me, see if I can get Mr. T to come to the front of the pole. Oh, very nice. The front of the scratch board. And remember, just like with Mr. Z, he was just putting his little toes up onto the board, and I would feed him for that. So right now, I have the food up and above. Again, I don't mind if he's mostly targeting it right now and not quite scratching yet. As he's getting comfortable targeting the bowl, then I'm going to try and now maybe use my hand, cup it like a fist again with my snacks inside. I'm going to see if Mr. T, oh, good job. He technically pawed at the hand, which is no big deal, but I'm feeding for all these moments that he's targeting the scratch board. Ready? So again, I'm going to try again to get him to sort of check out my hand. It's a very nice Triceratops. Ebba really likes dinosaurs. Yes. So she is wearing a very nice dinosaur t-shirt. Good job, Mr. T. So remember, this is Mr. T's first time trying the scratch board, and it was Zeus's second time trying it. So sometimes when you're first trying something novel, remember you may not get the concept exactly the way you were thinking, but the main goal is that you're eventually getting to that big boy, big girl skill. So I'm going to try again with the cup or the bowl to get Mr. T to give this a shot, and we'll see how he feels. So again, I have my snack. I'm going to lure him over, get him to see that it's going into the cup. That's okay. I'm going to see if Mr. T can go ahead and scratch the cup again. So now he's scratching me instead, which is fine. So I'm going to see one more time if he can go ahead. We'll replace him on the ground. See if he can go and scratch the little cup. Right there, yes. And then I'm gonna feed for the little treat, again, rolled, for that lovely scratching. So even if in the beginning you're starting off with targeting something that isn't necessarily the actual item, but it gets him in the groove of figuring out the dynamic, it could be a good starting point for this, again, the scratch board. So again, we have the snack inside the bowl. Hey, Hippo, let's be a little bit more calm. There we go, yes. Because we don't want to distract Mr. T while he's working his big boy skills. Though thank you for coming and helping. So again, with Mr. T, you saw there was several good moments where he's scratching at the little cup. I'm gonna now put the snack and kind of hide it in my fingers. Yes. So this is where we start to build on the previous concept. Hey, Ebba, actually, could you be my helper and go put this on one of the chairs for Mama so it's out of the way? Thank you, Hippo. So ready, Teddy? So now what I'm going to be doing is using my hands similar to the cup. I have my food. Can you move over though, Hippo? You're right in the way of the camera. It's okay, one side or the other. Good job, thank you. So with Mr. T, I'm going to have my food in my hand. I'm going to sort of close it off. I'm going to put it on the scratch board. I'm going to see if I can get him to do a little scratching with that foot. Right there, yes. So even if it targets me a little bit and the scratch board, I'm still going to feed for that response. Yeah, he doesn't have very big claws. He's fine. So again, I'm just waiting for him to get a little bit flustered, not in a bad way, but right there, yes. I like this pick of you. Yeah, thank you, my love. So and he's gonna maybe go grab a drink perhaps. Ready, Teddy? Nice. So maybe he didn't need a little drink, he just got a little distracted. So I have my food, yes. If he's even targeting the item, if he's going and scratching, are you going back to your side? Okay, just make sure to close the gate. Teddy. Teddy's like, but my friend is leaving. How sad. Ready? Come. Good boy. He's like, hold on. That looks much cooler. So obviously when you're practicing with anything novel, I would recommend to sometimes even just feed for the almost there. So if the only time you're feeding is for what you're expecting is the full behavior, you may never get there because... Oh, some water. Oh, Teddy says he brought his bone over for us. How nice. So if, for example, you only feed for the full behavior, your babe may not understand the basics or the beginning stages of that skill. So what I would highly recommend, and Ebba, leave him be when he's got his chew, okay? So I would highly recommend that when he's trying something new, if you see little moments where he's successful, feed for that. If you're waiting for the full behavior, remember, just like with anything, you might start off with, sorry, Hippo, move over a little. You might start off with just the beginning stages, but if you don't feed for their attempts, they're probably not going to even want to try harder later because their first attempt wasn't even, again, valuable from our perspective. So Teddy, come, good boy. He's doing a good job with his recalls. So we may try one more little moment with Mr. T with the scratch board, but if let's say he's getting a little tired from the concept, I don't want to do it, so much that he gets flustered and wants to give up. So remember to keep your training session short and sweet for much greater success for both you and your puppies. He's so funny. He's like, I don't really want to eat my kibble, but I'll eat the other stinkier snacks. So again, with a higher value treat, you may get a couple little reps. Make sure though that it's within his comfort range. So if you're finding he just wants to practice first targeting it flat, maybe working with the target of the bowl and pawing at that, and then you transition from the bowl onto the scratch board, and then from there maybe to your hand. Remember, any good glimmer in the right direction, feed and respond with some reinforcement for those good problem-solving skills and practice from his end. But we'll give him a little break from the scratch board. And then we'll go ahead and work a few more skills for Mr. T because he said he's already exhausted from this exercise. Good job, sir.